Hey everyone, Storm here, bringing you guys another First Descendant video, and we got this week's reactor farm where I bring you guys my top recommendations for reactor farming this week. I made a few changes based on some comments I got last week to make it a lot more easy and efficient for you guys watching the video, so let me know what you think at the end. Hit me up in the comments. I'm always trying to make it the best I can for you guys. But with that said, let's go ahead and hop over to the repository where we're going to talk about my favorite farm of the week. Here we go. So at the repository, mission of choice is going to be the Valby Outpost right here. You can see in the upper left-hand corner, I have posted the mission and pointing right to where you want to go to find it. So we've got Fire Tech this week. This is going to be a Lepic and Esimo farm, which I am so excited for these boys. They both just got a big buff in that last patch. So go ahead, get your Fire Tech Reactor. The roles I would go for both of them, I like cooldown and tech as my #1 choice, and then fire and tech damage as a secondary. Next, we are going to head on over to the Abandoned Zone. Environment Contamination Zone is going to be your mission of choice, located right here. The arrow's pointed at it to make it nice and easy for you. We're looking for an electric fusion reactor. That's going to be Sharen, and actually we're going to include Bunny on that now since the last patch. So if you really want to build into her 4th ability on fusion and you are using a sprint stick, you could go without her 3 more often and put a little less investment in that and do more into the 4. I do have a build guide on it. I like to use the 3 and just use the 4 as a bonus, because even without focusing on that fusion, it still does a ton of damage, but this is a new option for you guys. So with Sharen, I like crit and fusion and cost and crit. Crit and cooldown are my top 3 choices for her. With Bunny, if you are not using a sprint stick, my 2 top choices are going to be cost and fusion or cost and electric. I normally wouldn't say electric, but electric does give skill power to both her 3 and her 4, making them both get damage and kind of spreading out the love there. Then if you are using a sprint stick and you don't need to use your 2 as much, you could go for cooldown and fusion or fusion and electric just to really amp up the damage of that 4 if you're going for those massive one-shots. Then the next spot we're going to go to is the Mirage Stone. Valby Outpost, again, we love a Valby Outpost. This one, it is a small arena, so you want to turn your range way down. Electric Tech Reactor for Ines. If you didn't have a cooldown and crit or cooldown and tech damage on her already, I just before had crit and tech, so I'm still looking for that cooldown and crit reactor to kind of make up for that 4 being so much longer now. So that would be my top recommendation for Ines on this reactor farm. Let's head on over to the Moongrave Basin, where we're going to find ourselves at the water cooling recording device. Chill Singular Reactor this week for Viessa. Her absolute 0 build is just dominating. It's so good. The arcade tuning helped Viessa so much just do even more damage than she was already doing. I would look for cooldown and crit, or cooldown singular, or crit and singular if you're not worried about the cooldown as much. A little less quality of life, but massive damage there. Then we are going to head on over to the shipment base, where we're going to find ourselves at the Fortress Outskirts mission, looking for non-attribute tech reactor this week. We've got Ajax, Kyle, and Luna. For Ajax and Kyle, I'm going to recommend cooldown and tech or cooldown and range on both of them. Both are super helpful, quality of life on the range and just more area to cover with Kyle's dashes and explosions. And same for Ajax on his bunny hopper build. Then on Luna, you are going to choose duration and range. So this will make your gun a little bit stronger, but on Luna, your primary goal is to be buffing your teammates, and that just gets easier if that duration sticks around longer and if that range is higher to capture them all in your little circle. Last, we are going to head on over to the Frozen Valley. In tonight's mission is going to be the command relay. So this is the Serena Reactor for the week. You're looking for that fire singular. And this is very specifically for the Serena Divine Surge build. You wouldn't care about the reactor type on her gun builds. I love cooldown and singular on this build, just so you can keep that constant uptime on the ability and singular damage to add to that extra damage. All right, you guys. Well, here we are. I hope you enjoy this week's reactor farm. I'm super excited about it. I am super pumped about Esimo and Lepic having their reactors in a great spot because those are two of my next build guides coming out in the next few weeks here. So I'm going to be farming those. What are you guys going to be farming this week? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you thought about the changes I made, adding the extra items on the screen. I hope it's not too much screen clutter, but I think it is super helpful if you haven't already known exactly where these guides are, and if that would be helpful for you, or if you think it would be helpful for new players, even if you already know where it is. All right, you guys, slay away. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.